What's up, guys? Welcome to Bro Beats. Today I'm going to be showing you 808 placement, so let's get started. So there's really two ways or three ways that you can go about placing 808s, especially if you're like a beginner. So what I have here is a grid. So the two ways, main ways, is off the grid and on the grid type of patterns, right? Now you can combine those as well for your third kind of method, but I'll get to that later. So on the grid would be, let me center this a lot more. On the grid would be either the start of one of these notes and the end of one of these notes, right? So in between here, 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 and here, that is completely on the grid. And you can make 808 patterns on there, but if you want a lot of bounce in your 808 or your just beat period, you probably want to go in between these. Okay, so I'm gonna show you 5 notes that are like a reoccurring pattern in any beat, pretty much. Like you can find any 808 placement on these kind of patterns here. So this is like the normal length for making an 808, melody. So if you cut it in half, you will find this pattern. So you'll have to place 5 notes, one right here, here, there, and the last 2 back here. And these spots are the most common spots where the 808 will hit. All right, so I'll play that for you real quick. Okay, now as you can see, it's off the grid. Okay, in between these notes. Okay, only thing that's actually hitting is the beginning note, which makes sense because it's the start note. So let's pull this back up. And then from here, once you have these 5 notes, you can literally copy this all the way out, right? And then like, all right, now what I'm gonna do? Now you just make your melody. Okay, so now you just find where you want to put it. Let's try E. All right, so from here, now you're like, okay, what do I want to do next? Now you just want to get a little bit more complex. So it's like making a hi-hat almost. You got your bass pattern out. Now what you want to do is kind of chop some things up, right? You can even, I've even seen people do some rolls with 808s. All right, I mean, I wouldn't really do that necessarily, but you can do that. So let me delete that. So now you can chop it. So we can chop one right here. And then what we do with this chop is press Control down. Okay, and then since this is on the grid, now this is kind of like a guide for you. This is on the grid, right? When I chopped it, I'm gonna delete it and then stretch this one out. It should sound something like this. And then one thing that I'm hearing over here is I want to put a slide somewhere right here. So let's look at the grid, right? And I'm gonna click this button for the slide, and I'm gonna take it to E. And then what you can do is highlight it, Control down. Let's make this smaller. That should be good. You can see it's not on the grid, it's off of the grid. So let's listen to that. Okay, sounds pretty good to me. So I'm gonna put this down an octave actually and play it with the kick. So this method, first method, will give you the maximum amount of kick. Okay, and I don't know why this is not playing, but okay. And you can go up an octave. I've even seen, you can go up 2 octaves. I'm not sure how this one's gonna sound, but take it to the E. But you can do it. Stuff like that. That's up to you what you want to do. Okay. So I'll play with the kick real quick, I guess. Why not? Okay, so you're probably wondering, okay, I get that, but what about on the grid now? That's pretty simple. Now what you can do is, let's put these 5 notes in here. what you can do is, what I like to do is at the end of it, you can kind of place something right there on the grid. So something right there at the end parts. Okay. And like these areas right here is where I will put it on the grid. Now I don't usually put it on these parts. Obviously in the beginning, you're gonna put the 808 there, but like this one right here, I don't usually do that. It doesn't sound too good to me, but you can do that. But I never had success doing that. But these areas right here, you can. So how you would do that is you can kind of shrink this one, all right, and pull this one in. And same with over here. So, but you'll just have to try things out, obviously. So let's just listen and see where we want to put this. This one over, and then you'll have to adjust your kick because the bounce is a little different from the previous pattern. You could try doing the same thing with the octave. And I'll show another example of what this would look like. This is not a great example because I'm just doing this on the fly, but I'll show another example real quick of what this would look like in like an actual beat. So then you can combine it, and this one is already kind of combining the method. As you can see, this one's on the grid, this one's on the grid, this one's on the grid, right? And then you have these, which is not on the grid, okay? Which is still creating bounce. All right, so you can just mix these two techniques. That's gonna be it for this video. It's not too much I can really explain. That's kind of like the simplest way I can put it. But hopefully this video helped you out. And like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.